¿A dónde está papi? 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 ¿A dónde está papi?
Welcome to the Tuesday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Tuesday. Welcome, Cosmic Seeking. Spread it forward. How's it going, everybody? This sounds like a beat by Soundtrack. The producer who made the album, Joe Music and Zion, listened to the song called Gotti for a chill lyrical track with a similar sample to the one playing. Yeah, the person who made this, they specialize on beats for hip hop and rap. And so that's what they do. Sadly, I need cheering up. Well, what better way of cheering up than going into the news, right? All right, folks. Hopefully some chud shows up that we can laugh at. Maybe. We'll see if we can draw some out. I heard Carrie Lake is still messing with the electoral system. Yeah, we got that one on cue. You know, when I need cheering up, I go specifically to politics channels to get a view of the world. That's usually what I do. All right, folks. How's it going, Bipedal Meatbag? I guess we can start with like some kind of meme story. I'll just let the Rational National do this one. Something we kind of can laugh at.
You know, I've been aligned with Marjorie and accused of believing a lot of the things that she believes in.
We've all been given a wonderful Christmas gift, as two of the dumbest people in Congress are now fighting. So, of course, I'm talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert, who are now feuding over who should be Speaker of the House. So, Greene is in support of Kevin McCarthy. Lauren Boebert right now hasn't said either way for sure, but she definitely is signaling that she's against McCarthy, and I'll show you in that clip. But first here, and also get to later on, where Trump is in all this debate, which may surprise you. But first here, just to set the stage for this fight that's going on. So McCarthy, who lacks the 218 votes to become Speaker on January 3rd amid opposition from at least 5 House Republicans, has moved for the past several weeks to try to win them over with deal cutting and potential rules changes to empower rank and file members.
Okay. The Tesla stock has plummeted since Musk bought Twitter. Yeah, that's always like good news. Like that usually can like bring me that usually can bring a smile to my face. Just kind of watching the trajectory of the Tesla stock usually gives me a chuckle. Yeah.
And that has worked in some cases, like with Taylor Greene, has not worked in other cases, and it needs at least, I believe, 4 of these votes to be able to become Speaker. So let me get to this clip now. This is taken at the, what is it, the stupid Turning Points USA show? I don't know. These people have conferences every 2 weeks. Like, it's something new, and they have a stage, and they say some dumb shit to a bunch of morons. So here's some more of that with Charlie Kirk here hosting for Real America's Voice.
Someone who we all respect, Marjorie Taylor Greene, says Kevin McCarthy is going to be a great speaker.
Who we all respect.
I guess you'll have to ask Marjorie about that. I'm a fan of hers. I'm an admirer, but it's not something we see the same way.
Lauren?
Well, you know, I've been aligned with Marjorie and accused of believing a lot of the things that she believes in. I don't believe in this, just like I don't believe in Russian space lasers.
Are you a
Jewish
hard no?
space lasers and all of this? No, I'm just saying we need to actually have.
Jesus Christ. An
inside conversation and make sure that these promises are there.
So Gates there with a very diplomatic response. Meanwhile, Boebert goes right in. So Marjorie Taylor Greene, of course, responded to this. I'll get to that shortly. But just to give some context for the claims here, yes, I've covered this before. Marjorie Taylor Greene has said these things.
Let them fight.
And
True.
apparently this has bothered Boebert in the past as well, which I'll get to. But the Georgia Republican has been mocked for her Jewish space lasers claim for nearly all of her political career.
Good.
The controversy originated in a since deleted 2018 Facebook post from Greene. The post touted an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory suggesting that the Rothschilds, a wealthy Jewish banking family, were profiting off of California wildfires supposedly caused by lasers or blue beams of light from space. I have nothing to add there. But Marjorie Greene reacted, saying here in a tweet thread, "I've supported and donated to Lauren Boebert. President Trump has supported and donated to Lauren Boebert. Kevin McCarthy has supported and donated to Lauren Boebert. She just barely came through by 500 votes," which is true. Lauren Boebert just barely won her recent election. And I know that's a way to definitely poke her.
Alio with the 10
Second tweet
biddies.
here
Thank
saying
you
she
so much.
gladly
Welcome.
takes our money, but when she's been asked, and for some reason there's a colon here, I don't understand Republican grammar. She writes, Lauren refuses to endorse President Trump. She refuses to support Kevin McCarthy, and she childishly threw me under the bus for a cheap soundbite. The country is facing extremely difficult times. Americans expect conservative fighters like us to work together to save America, and that is the only mission I'm 100% devoted to, not high school drama and media soundbites. Save America, defeat the Democrats. So, while Taylor Greene seems like she's trying to be diplomatic about this by saying, she's focused on America and defeating Democrats. She just took shots at Lauren Boebert as well. So this is now a back and forth fight. They are feuding. This is real. This is great. Now, I'm not really sure this will last. I'm sure once there is a speaker chosen, they will all move on with their lives. But I don't know. Maybe not. These are children, so it's wouldn't be surprising to see this continue. But the reason why Greene is backing McCarthy here is that she has obviously been given concessions. So Greene is betting that backing up McCarthy in his time of dire need will pave a path to legitimacy and power if he becomes speaker. So apparently, it appears she will have her committee assignments reinstated after the Democratic-controlled House stripped them after Greene endorsed violence against her political opponents. So McCarthy is promising to bring her back onto these committee assignments. So
Yeah, so basically, completely backpedaling on any consequences. I mean, again, this is the same congressperson who literally said in a tee sarcastic tone that if she and Steve Bannon would have been at the head of the insurrection, they would have won, and Kevin McCarthy is just being like, yep, this is fine. No Wrangler coming in hot with a 5 gifted tier subs. Thank you so much. Happy holidays, brother. Thank you. Thank you, Nug Wrangler. I appreciate that. Fellow majority reporter mod, thank you. I think that's a nod to the conspiracy theorists and the suspected red flag event Project Blue Beam, which was suspected operation that was leaked decades ago. Gotcha. Thank you so much, Nug Wrangler. I appreciate it. Thank you. Look at that. First with the biddies and now with just a $5. Just casually dropping a $5. Sheesh. On fire today.
So Greene is happy. Boebert, I'm not sure if she's been promised anything. I'm going to guess not, which is why she is a little angry right now. But more context for this feud, which has some history. So for a pair of bosom buddies that once enjoyed, this is the Daily Beast here, that once enjoyed such wholesome activities as heckling President Joe Biden together during his first State of the Union address. Just a reminder of that one. Remember these two clowns here? Yeah. What a great historical image. Greene and Boebert have taken pains to publicly emphasize the fissure in their relationship.
They've openly said they would have shot at the Capitol Police. So much for Back the Blue. Yeah, they don't care. Like, no, they have no actual principles. None of what they say means anything. At this point in time, it's just like whatever is expedient to consolidate power is whatever needs to be said and done. Could it be a hype train? I don't know. Could it be?
February appearance by Greene at a conference organized by white nationalist Nick Fuentes. The confrontation became so heated that another lawmaker had to step in, seemingly before blows could be exchanged.
Sheesh.
Republican lawmakers told the outlet that privately Boebert detests being associated with Greene, seen in Capitol circles as more of a maverick. So Boebert definitely appears to be more of the instigator here than Greene is. Greene appears to be fine, just kind of, going with the flow, even though let's not get it twisted here. They're both completely insane. But Boebert definitely is the one that is more willing to take shots, as we just saw her instigate this entire fight. And maybe it has to do with the fact that she has been associated with the craziest of the crazy this entire time, but that's because she herself is also crazy. So it's weird to see Boebert be bothered by this, considering there isn't much of a difference between the two. Now, Trump. Where does Trump figure out all this? Well, surprisingly, he supports McCarthy. So Trump is calling on his supporters to stand down on McCarthy opposition. Now, this is in spite of the fact that McCarthy in the past, after Jan 6, he was actually trying to get Twitter to close down Republican politicians' accounts that were in support of the insurrection. So, and of course, he spoke out against Trump at the time, at least, the kindest way he could. So, even though he's done all that, here you have Trump coming in to support McCarthy, likely because, to be honest, I don't know, because Trump doesn't care about the party at all, the strength of the party. I'm not sure why he would give a shit in this situation,
because it gives...
but maybe there are some promises behind the scenes.
So basically, like, the reason why is because, like, well, if he has a united Republican Party behind at least somebody, and that somebody seems to be McCarthy, at least the party is united behind somebody and could possibly be more effective, unfortunately. That is the idea.
Backs McCarthy here. McCarthy won't speak up about Trump and all of his bullshit. I don't know. But regardless, Trump is calling on supporters to back McCarthy, going on to say that it's a very dangerous game. Some bad things could happen.
True.
Look, we had Boehner and he was a strange person. I just find that to be a hilarious comment. I assume this has to do with Boehner and his constant crying. I'm not sure what else this would refer to. But he goes on to say, we ended up with Paul Ryan, who was 10 times worse. Paul Ryan was an incompetent speaker. I think he goes down as the worst speaker in history. So, of course, Trump and his stream of consciousness. But there you go. Two of the dumbest people in Congress fighting over who should be speaker. I do really think it's going to end up being McCarthy. There doesn't seem to be any major support for anyone else within the party at this time, of course, because the GOP control the House. It's more than likely going to be one of them. I'm not sure how it would end up being a Democrat in this situation, but we're going to have to see how that all plays out and if this fight between Boebert and Green continues.
Cool. Nice meme. So David Doe was talking about that TPUSA event. Can we just take a second to take a little peek as to what was going on in those events? Let's take a peek, shall we?
Before I go real quick, and I'm going to give you guys some homework to do tonight. Just real quick show of hands. How many of you believe in God? Okay.
Red flag.
I want you guys to look up on YouTube. There was a story that George Washington would tell, and then it's called George Washington's Vision for America. George Washington, prior to the Revolutionary War, was visited, according to George Washington, by an angel. And he showed him the outcome of the Revolutionary War. He showed him that there would be a civil war. There was...
Can I get 400 for things that didn't happen, Alex? $400 on things that didn't happen.
Results of that, and that the United States would then expand from east to west and see great prosperity. But then after that, George Washington saw the last fight that the United States would face. And it would be a red plume of smoke coming from South America, but also coming from the east. Real quick, and just hearing that short information segment, how many of you believe that red cloud is communism? I believe that too. I believe that we as a nation are seeing an effort to push global communism. That they are going to try to pit us against each other. That they are going to try to lie to the American people and use our own First Amendment against us. That there are some politicians that promise the American people one thing, and yet they're turning their backs on you every single day.
Holy shit. Damn, it's almost like looking in a mirror. Right? I know there's always some ambiguity in historical accounts, but I think we can be 100% sure that didn't happen. Yeah, like the things that didn't happen include, even if it did happen, nobody cares. True. Like, what? So George Washington saw some red plume coming from the south and the east, so therefore that is communism? Cool, dude. First of all, that's your interpretation. Second of all, wouldn't we want to know what George Washington thought about that? Because I'm pretty sure that he had no idea. Whatever.
That is exactly what we are up against every single day. We
Every day,
continue to
guys.
fight, but we need your help.
Every day.
This organization needs your help.
Give us money. True. Isn't there parties? Yeah, like I could make up the same exact story, Bub Dragon. You're 100% correct. I could make up that story too. Yeah, like 150 years ago, fucking George Washington or whenever, whenever that happened, George Washington had a dream, okay? And in that dream, angels told him about the Revolutionary War, okay? And they also told him the outcomes of the Revolutionary War. They warned him about a civil war, and then they warned him about a red plume that was coming, from the future, right? This is the future. A red plume coming from the south and the east. And you know what I think? It's like red, like the red is the color of the Republican Party. So yeah, George Washington was actually warning us about the Republican Party. True. The Republican Party didn't exist before Lincoln. Yeah, that is true. But she's talking about like a dream from the future. And in the future, the Republican Party exists. Yeah, because in the fantastical story that she's telling us about, the last battle is in the future. So yeah, both the Red Scare and both the Republican Party do exist. I guess the name is accurate. Luna? I don't know what this lady's name is. Oh yeah, Paulina Luna. Anna Paulina Luna. Congresswoman elect. Holy shit, she's a congresswoman. Jesus Christ. No way. Oh my god. She won her election. From Instagram star to Congresswoman elect. Holy shit. Because of course she did, along with that gay Republican that lied about literally everything. How do people go to these events and not realize that they're in a cult? Well, that's the thing, right? That's the thing about cults, Nug Wrangler, right? I'm not in a cult. Everything that President Trump says is true. I mean, why would I have to question anything? He says it like it is. I don't have any reason to question it. The Democrats lie all the time. The radical left, socialist, lib, communist left is out to destroy America. Why do I need to listen to anything else? Because of course she did, along with gay Republicans that lied about the gay was that the dude? Was that the dude from New York? Because I saw a story that like this one Republican from New York was like literally lying about a whole bunch of shit. Yeah, that's him. Yeah. Because of course she did. Yes. I missed a comment. Also, communism existed before Marx. This is true. Congressman-elect George Santos allegedly lied. Yeah. I saw a story about this. In November, George Santos became the first openly gay Republican elected to Congress. His election helped the GOP secure a slim majority in the House, but a New York Times investigation found that the representative-elect may have misrepresented key elements of his biography and resume during his campaign. Santos... Oh, wait. I'm sorry, guys. Hold on. Let me put it up here. Santos claimed to have graduated from Baruch College in 2010, but the New York school could find no records of Santos attending. Jeez, not even of an attending. To say like, all right, well, at least he went to the school. Damn. Santos also claimed that he worked for Citigroup and Goldman Sachs after graduating. Neither Wall Street firm had any record of him working there. Jesus. Friends of Pets, a charity that Santos claimed to have founded in 2013, also appears to be bogus. Holy shit. The IRS found no records that or the organization held tax-exempt status, and neither the New York or New Jersey Attorney General Office found any records of the organization being registered as a charity, according to the Times. The intended beneficiary of a 2017 fundraiser thrown by Santos says they never received any funds from the event. Damn. Harbor City Capital, a Florida-based investment company where Santos was regional director during his unsuccessful 2020 campaign for Congress, was accused by the SEC of running a 17 million Ponzi scheme. Wow. Wild. So this is like your standard like New York, Florida, like white collar crook. I mean, like indistinguishable from like the Trump playbook. Is he even gay? Maybe. I mean, I don't see why I would dispute that. I have no reason to dispute that. But these are things that you can literally look up. Did he think that people just wouldn't be able to look this shit up? You know, records are public and very easy to find. Especially if you're media. Why would you need to lie about these type of things? That's what gets me. Like, why would you feel the need? Why would you feel the need to lie about things that you don't have to lie about? Like, what was the point of like lying about the school that you attended to? As if like, if you're, you know, a congressperson that obviously the media is gonna, you know, pay attention to you, and just do like a 5-second investigative like query, into what schools you went into, if that's even true or not. I mean, it's just like a 5-second thing. Like, as a media person, you could probably figure all this stuff out. So why lie? Why lie about something that you don't even need to lie about? All right, listen.
Please clap.
If I had a I would probably play that. But I was wondering too. I only even mentioned it because he's apparently the first non-incumbent GOP politician, and every article brings it up. Yeah, I mean, I don't see any reason to dispute whether or not he's gay. But these are verifiable. These have like easy peasy. You can just look up what school, you know? You could look up where somebody worked by just asking the company if you're a media personality or a media a person trying to do a story. These are things that you don't need to lie about. This is what I don't understand. And it's quite frankly infuriating. Why lie about things you don't even need to lie about? Only, like NYU's admission office isn't some secret number reporters can't get a hold of. Right. Like, unreal. Yeah, like even none of the articles are even disputing, you know, none of these articles, and I've seen a couple of them all pretty much saying the same thing. None of these articles are disputing whether or not he's gay. They're disputing like his resume. That's the issue here. He's a GOP's token gay friend. The Republican Party, folks, so ridiculous and fascistic. Well, yes, but here the problem is the massive amount of lies. The problem here is the lying. I thought that was Dave Rubin. Echo Resto Dragon, how's it going? Hey, kitty. We've got Vaquita the cat in studio. 1 second, folks. I'll wait for some of this to clear up. Look at this cat. Do you want to say hello? No? What's the matter, kitty? All right. Well, you're gonna have to decide if you want to do the news with me or not. Okay. I guess she'll just sit on my lap. Now that is a total cheer up treat. True. There you go. Stroke her and make her welcome. She is welcome. Look at her. What's the matter? What's the matter, kitty? She's purring up a storm. Yes, kitty. See, look how cuddly she is. BRB, gotta get the mail. Alrighty. Look at her. Alright, Vaquita, I need to do the news. She is so much better than the news. True. All right, Kat, I gotta get going. Well, I gotta keep going, I should say. All right. Phenomenal Bakita break. Let's talk about this. Michael Hassler, how's it going? Biden administration gears up for end of Trump-era border restrictions as Supreme Court considers whether to keep it in place. The Biden administration is still bracing for the end of a Trump-era border restriction even after the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court temporarily paused the end of this program. The administration now faces a 5 p.m. Eastern Tuesday deadline to respond to an emergency appeal filed by Republican-led states that asked Chief Justice Roberts to pause the end of Title 42. The authority allows the federal government to quickly expel migrants who have crossed the southern border, citing the COVID pandemic. Roberts on Monday granted the temporary pause and ordered the administration to quickly respond. The White House has been spending Monday preparing for the end of the program at midnight on Wednesday in accordance with the lower court's rule. Border officials were thankful for the brief pause of the termination of Title 42, but were proceeding with planning anyways, two senior Customs Border and Protection officials told CNN. Everyone is breathing a collective sigh of relief, albeit a temporary one. Border officials across the U.S.-Mexico border were on regular phone calls over the weekend preparing for the anticipated end of Title 42 and have been working with the Mexican government to try to stem the flow of the official added. In Del Rio sector, for example, officials predicted that the number of migrant encounters could double from 1,700 to 3,500 when Title 42 ends, straining the overwhelmed resources in a remote area at the border. Despite Monday's decision, the administration is moving forward with the plan. We're going on as if nothing's changed. Instead, one of the officials adding the policy discussion are still underway to provide legal pathways for Nicaraguans, Haitians, Cubans who make up a large number of encounters. Interesting. As for what happens on Wednesday if the expiration is still on hold, one official said there may be a quote mini surge. I think there's many probably would have gotten the message and they won't cross. They're already committed. There are some who are already committed who will cross. Inside the White House, the pause and determination will not have any effect on what would have been the intense behind-the-scenes preparations at the end of the authority, according to the White House official. While the Department of Homeland Security serves as the lead agency on the issue, it has been a central focus on last week for the several last weeks inside the West Wing, while senior officials, White House officials playing a significant role in internal debates over a policy option to address the expected surge of migrants at the border. There are no plans to slow the ongoing effort, and the officials are given the possibility any delay is only brief in nature. We've always been aware of the role that the courts have in this process, but it's not something that changes the approach. So, wait a second. They are preparing for the end of Title 42. But Republican-led states have filed a motion to put to pause essentially the end of Title 42. I mean, isn't that a little bit interesting? Hold on, folks. Hey, Jocelyn, how's it going? All right, kitty. Come on. Okay. So to remind folks, the purpose of Title 42 was to essentially attempt to slow immigration down because of the COVID pandemic under the pretense that there was like a health concern, right? A health issue concern. That's very interesting. So remind me. So remind me again, which is it? is COVID real or not? Because Republicans seem to not really care. Republicans seem to flip-flop. On one hand, they feel the need to use governmental power to restrict immigration for health concerns reasons. On the other hand, COVID isn't a big deal, right? COVID isn't a big deal. It's just a cold. Whatever. COVID's not a problem. Pandemic's over. So how do you square that circle? How do you square that circle? You can't claim that you need Title 42, but also not really consider something like COVID a big deal. According to Biden, the pandemic is over. True. If you ever do a poll to give away your Twitch channel, just know I can take on the responsibility of running it for the sake of free speech. I can be recording. Oh, Jesus Christ. I would never want to be within the same breath or within the same ballpark of even being able to be remotely compared to the quartering. Please don't do that. So yeah, you can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. You can't simultaneously claim that you need to institute these measures because of health concerns, and then simultaneously say that the pandemic isn't a problem. It's done. The COVID is done. It's not a big deal. But if they remove that Title 42, immigration will step up a level. It might. It might. But I don't. What's the issue here? We can't handle it. Why? There's not enough, resources. Okay, dedicate more resources to being able to handle, and process, the immigration. That's it. And again, the hypocrisy here. Jostein with the gifted tier 1 sub. Thank you so much. You guys are on fire today. Sheesh. You can't have it both ways. You can't simultaneously ask the government to do something based on a health, concern, and then simultaneously within the next breath say that same health concern isn't a big deal. Does that make sense? Maple Leaf Dragon with a tier 1 sub. Uh-oh. Y'all are trying to start a hype train? Is that what it is? Perhaps the GOP want to run into and out of Mexico unrestrained? Wait, what? I don't know what that means. Meaning like they're trying to escape to Mexico? Y'all getting hot in here. True. Look at that. In just one fell swoop, you guys are about to kick off a freaking hype train. In one shot. Just a normal resub for me. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. But yeah, you can't simultaneously talk about the needing Title 42 and then also saying like, well, the pandemic isn't a big deal. COVID's not a big deal. It's the double speak here. That's the issue. We're going on as if nothing's changed. As for what happens on Wednesday if the expiration is still on hold, one official said there might be a quote mini surge. Okay. The humanitarian situation in Mexico's side of the border is growing dire with thousands upon thousands of migrants arriving in anticipation of Title 42's end. Non-profit organizers in the area have told CNN the migrants, who are mostly from Venezuela and Haiti, are living on the streets in abandoned homes and on sidewalks, and describe a chaotic scene where mothers can be seen with hungry and sick children. In response to the buildup of migrants on Mexico's side of the border, Texas government is making its own moves to prepare for a potential, quote, surge. I mean, like, honestly, this is, the way they're describing this is almost indistinguishable from like a Fox News article. Jesus Christ. Early Tuesday morning, CNN spotted a deployment of National Guardsmen along the southern border. The mobilization along the El Paso Ciudad Juarez border appears to be part of Texas Governor Greg Abbott's Operation Lone Star, a border security mission launched last year. For over a year, Abbott has been deploying state resources to the U.S.-Mexico border, including National Guardsmen. The move was an affront to the Biden administration and garnered widespread criticism for militarizing the border. It also fueled frustration among members of the Guard. Yeah, but like not only that. Hello, kitty. You gonna come back? Come on. Come on, kitty. You're okay. Come on. No. Come on. Ooh, kitty. She decided to join us again. I wish the microphone could pick up her purrs. All right. Anyways, TLDR, they're planning to end Title 42. The Republicans want to continue it. Okay. Stop it. Once again, they need to square that circle first, right? Like either COVID is a public health concern or it isn't. Pick one. Judgment Free Zone. How's it going? Let's do this story. Let's see, depending on how much time we have. Let's do this story. Judge allows Kari Lake's election lawsuit to proceed in part. A judge is allowing to, yeah, the GOP wants to end Title 42. No, I'm sorry. The GOP wants to continue Title 42. The GOP wants to continue Title 42. Judge allowed Kari Lake's election lawsuit to proceed in part. On Monday, a judge dismissed most lawsuits filed by Kari Lake, the GOP candidate who lost the governor's race in November, but allowed her to go to trial with a pair of claims challenging Democratic governor-elect Katie Hobbs' victory. Maricopa County Superior Court Judge Peter Thompson ruled that Lake can go to trial Wednesday and Thursday with 2 of her 10 claims, which allege misconduct with ballot printers and problems with ballot chain of custody. Thompson did not want to take a position on the validity of the 2 claims, but said Lake should be allowed to present her case. Yeah, and like the important, like, there are 2 questions here. One, is there evidence to suggest that A, this happened, which it may have. I mean, like, errors like this happen in every election. But more importantly, B, was any of this enough to change the results? The answer to that is probably not. The other 8 claims, which include allegations that mail-in ballots with mismatched signatures were counted and that a censorship effort by Hobbs and Maricopa County Recorder Stephen Richard cost their votes, were dismissed, obviously. The lawsuit by Lake, a prominent election denier and Trump ally, claims that she received the greatest number of votes and is entitled to be named the winner. No, you have to win. What? Days after the certified results show that she had lost, Lake asked the court to toss Maricopa County's results to declare her the winner or hold another vote in the county. In a 2-day hearing set for Wednesday and Thursday, Lake will try to prove her allegations that printers were intentionally allowed to malfunction on election day to affect the election outcome and that a county contractor improperly added the ballots. Buckle up, America. This is, quote, far from over. Yeah, whatever, dude. In his decision, Judge dismissed 8 of Lake's claims, including Lake's allegation that Hobbs and Richard attempted to censor her by flagging her social media posts containing baseless election claims for removal. Lake is a prominent booster of Trump's false claims of widespread fraud in 2020, in the 2020 election, and she has not conceded the gubernatorial race against Hobbs. Right. So, you okay, Kitty? So the story here is that she's completely off base, but it will be allowed to proceed to see if she can prove that there was intentional issues with the ballot printers and ballot chain of custody. No, you're just an entitled person. Recall that these are new machines because they had to replace them because cyber ninjas can't be bothered to do basic chain of custody documentation. Right. So in other words, like the chain of events that people like her triggered led to the situation that we were in, and then she's like complaining about it. This is that meme, the bicycle meme. Hold on. Here it is. This is literally her. Right here. Plus, if this was done, it was likely done to make it harder for Dems to vote. Yeah, but like, there's no even like, we don't even know if any of this actually happened. Like, her argument is that there was an intent, that there was an intent of misconduct. And she wants to speak to the manager of Arizona. True. So we understand what the TLDR of this story is, right? We understand that like she obviously has no basis in most of these claims, and 2 of which she's going to have a lot of difficulty proving. Most likely, honestly, all of this is probably just going to end up being dismissed or thrown out. Which brings me to how people on the right decide to cover this.
Calling for them to be locked up. This is last night speaking at Turning Point USA's AmericaFest. Kari Lake had some choice words for Maricopa County election officials calling for them to be locked up. This is really fascinating. Kari Lake's battle right now over what happened with the election.
Fascinating. That's Tim Pool's characterization of somebody asking to lock up officials because they didn't give her the election. That's her response. is to call for like the jailing of officials, of like election officials, because it didn't go her way. And like Tim Pool's immediate word of choice of word here is fascinating. But Republican feelings equal incontrovertible evidence. True.
In Arizona, I believe, is one of the most important battles in this country because the midterm is not yet over. The midterm election, although it happened over a month ago, we have the certification in the election in which Kari Lake was running for the governorship, but there is an election-related lawsuit still underway with questions that need to be answered. Now, well, the shocking story may be that Kari Lake has called for...
I think there needs to be a there needs to be a trigger warning for Tim Pool's beanie. It's slowly eating his brain. True. He has no capabilities of handling the power of the beanie. Okay. But both him, what speed is that on? On like double speed, I think. Oh yeah, it's on 2. I can slow it down because like I was like kind of shifting through everything just to get an idea. I can move it. But both him and Russell Brand have no respect for the power of the beanie.
For imprisoning Maricopa County election officials, the one thing that I find very fascinating here is a story from AZ Family. Judge takes motion to dismiss lawsuit filed by Kari Lake under advisement.
So now we heard like this. We got like the kind of TLDR, right? We got the TLDR of how this story is. Watch how Tim Pool addresses the same situation that we just saw.
Interesting story filed just a moment ago, and I'm reading this, and they don't really lay out the position of the Kari Lake campaign, in which there are many very important questions, and I don't know what to say.
There's no important question. What important questions could they possibly be? Most of it, I mean, quite literally 80% of it was dismissed right off the bat. 8 out of 10 claims. That's literally exactly 80% of it was dismissed right off the bat. So what questions are we talking about here?
Now, I can tell you, they've certified the election for Hobbs, for the Democrat. And so it's supposed to be a done deal. However, Arizona law does allow for an election contest. So this is where it gets really interesting because YouTube has their weird rules about how you can't question certified elections. So
he sounds like Shapiro when sped up. Yeah, that's true. I mean, hey, we gotta run through this because there's like bullshit being spread at like, you know, we've got like how much 30 minutes of bullshit, and like we don't really have time for all of it, so we got to work with what we got. Notice the framing here. YouTube doesn't allow us to talk about election denial, but I'm going to talk about but I'm going to do it anyways. What?
I don't know to tell you, YouTube, there is an election contest under the law underway.
That is not the same. Notice how I'm talking about it. That is not the same as perpetuating election denialism. Notice how reporting on like, hey, MAGA lunatic is disputing the election results and is attempting to dispute the results, contest the results. I'm sorry, through a lawsuit, which 80% of it has already been dismissed right off the bat. But also like YouTube, is I don't know, whatever. Important question number 1: how long can we drag this out to keep Filter Lady relevant to the media? True. Relevant in the media. True. Isn't he talking about it on YouTube? Yep.
I am not here to tell anybody definitively one way or another what happened or anything like that. But
so then why are you talking about it? I mean, like, the results were that Katie Hobbs won. That's it. Okay. I'm not here to be like definitive or anything, but like there's a lot of questions. What? Okay, buddy.
I will point out the arguments being made by Kari Lake's team, and I think some of the arguments have merit. I mean,
right. So I'm not going to engage in election denialism because that would break YouTube's TOS. But like, here's some interesting stuff that like basically when you amount it up to, it's going to be denying the election results. Cool. Thank you, Tim. Like MTG and her censored mask on the yeah, true.
First and foremost, the ballot tabulator errors. This is confirmed fact-based news. It's not speculation. It happened. Now, what they're saying officially.
Yeah, Tim. Shit like this happens. Okay? It is not inconceivable that, you know, sometimes errors may occur. Okay?
Anyone who tried to vote and the machine kicked it back was still able to vote. I say fantastic. I'm glad to hear it.
Yes, Tim. The issue was found and corrected. Thank you. Next question. You said you had several questions. Next question.
Now, we should probably get a random sampling of those ballots that were kicked back and test to make sure that they were accurately counted, right?
They were. Carrie Lake heavily alters her live interviews. How do we really know that she's the real Carrie Lake? True.
There's a viral video of a man, and he says, if you went to the bank to count your life savings, and they said, sorry, the counter's not working, just put it in box number 3, and then we'll let you know later how much money you actually got. You'd say, no way. And he asks, now what's more important, your vote or your money? Excellent point. Just ask Mark Zuckerberg, among other individuals who spent large sums of money to have an impact on this election.
What does this have to do with anything? What? Tim? You okay, buddy? What does this have to do? Bank account? Voting? Mark Zuckerberg? What? Okay. Sure, dude. This makes sense. We're 2.5 minutes in.
Carrie Lake is asking questions about that. Asking questions about 25,000 ballots they say came in after the deadline, and about there being no chain of custody on some universal mail-in ballots. Again, I am not ascribing any...
She could be an imposter from Colombia here to take over Arizona. True.
Veracity to those arguments. I'm simply pointing out those are the arguments. Now, why is it that AZ family...
I'm not going to speak onto the merits of the claims, but I'm going to continue to just, ask questions, I'm just going to keep nudging in that direction to my audience of 1.3 million subscribers.
Writes about this story. Hey, I'll give them that much. But they're not breaking down the actual position from the Carrie Lake team. Could be wrong. Could be totally wrong. I don't know. I want to see what the judge has to say. I want to see the court actually go through the evidence and make a definitive statement. The challenge, I suppose, is will these judges be partisan? I really don't know. And if they are, then so be it. And maybe we'll never really know. But there are some real...
What? That's wild. That's wild. So he's already priming the pump, saying, like, look, if we lose, then we just can't really know anyways, because judges could be partisan. What? Okay, dude. I mean, I guess the one thing you could say about this is that, like, he realizes that judges can be partisan. So where was this with, like, the Supreme Court? Okay, whatever, dude.
Really shocking questions if what Carrie Lake's team alleges are true turn out to be true. That there's no chain of custody for ballots. That 17,000 people had issues with ballot tabulators. And they say, no, we got all those votes in. I hear you saying that. But for me as an individual, as a layman, you're telling me to either trust Carrie Lake or trust Katie Hobbs. Why is it that YouTube tells me
Wait, what? We're not asking you to trust either of these people. We're asking you to trust the election people who run everything. What are you on about? Like, Katie Hobbs isn't, like, literally physically handling this. You do know that, right? There are election officials that do this, that handle this when there's an error. They have to correct it and whatnot. This is the problem right here. You're the problem right here. This is it right here. This is wild. Unbelievable.
Are forced to just trust Katie Hobbs. No, sorry, I'm not playing that game. I'm not going to trust one.
Remember, he started off by saying that he didn't know if there was any validity to any of these claims. Remember? Okay. Pepperidge Farm remembers.
One or the other. I'm a fan of Carrie Lake, but she's got to prove it, and I want to see...
I'm a fan of Carrie Lake, Knighton centrist Tim Pool.
A third party go through this.
They did. And now we have to go through it again with the court system. On the 2 claims only. After 80% of it was dismissed outright. After 80% of her claims were dismissed outright.
She says she'll take it to the Supreme Court. I'd like to see it. But the fact remains, if
What? Okay, dude.
Hobbs comes out and says, no, I certified it personally, everything's fine, I say, that's great, but we've not gone through any of the documentation.
Hobbs doesn't certify the elections. Like, can you imagine if like that was the case where like the winner gets to certify their own election? That's not how this works, dude. Holy shit, this is why like education is so important. Civics is so important, guys. Please. I know I've fucked up on like some of the way like the processes work. I know I fucked up. But holy shit. Like, I understand most of the processes of how things work, but I'm pretty sure that you're not supposed to, quote, certify your own election. Didn't Kemp certify his own election? Did he? Did he? Right, he was in charge. Okay, so Secretary of State, Georgia Governor Brian Kemp said on Friday that the law requires him to formalize the certification of election results after the state's top election official approved results showing Democratic President-elect Joe Biden won, beat Republican. Oh, yeah, wait a minute. But no, this is the election. Yeah. Georgia Secretary of State has declared victory in the gubernatorial race and says he's stepping down as a state's top election official. Kemp says, ooh, hey. Wait, I think he stepped down before this happened. Serving their election, couldn't feel like it was blah blah blah, blah but only two. On Thursday, the appointed former Georgia to fill a vacancy. Couldn't was the person. Deal in the press release, Deal referred to Kemp. Yeah, I think they like ended up having somebody else appointed when he stepped down. But I think the issue there, I think the issue there was that like he was the Secretary of State and there was some weird shit going on there. But yeah, massively corrupt. I thought he stepped down after to claim the elected position. He stepped down after it, like right before it was quote unquote official. He stepped down like right before even the news outlets claimed officially the winner, because he basically believed that his lead was insurmountable, and at that point he just kind of stepped down right before. So I could be wrong. If you guys want to just kind of give me a rundown of how that works, you can let me know. But from what I understand, I think he stepped down right before that happened. If anybody wants to take a second look at that. But yeah, the governor, the gubernatorial races, no. I don't think you declare yourself, like you certify your own elections. I don't think that's how that works. Maybe it could have been a unique situation in Georgia because this dude was the Secretary of State, and B, Georgia state law is a little bit different than Arizona. Maybe.
If Kari Lake says, here's some issues with chain of custody, I say, that's great. We need to go through the documentation. In this world of censorship,
she hasn't provided any. She hasn't provided any.
With everything we're learning from Elon Musk and the Twitter files and new revelations coming out, I'm being told by big tech that I have to choose only one side. Get out of here.
What? Nobody's telling you. You're doing it. We're 4 minutes in, Tim. You've already done it a couple of times. The thing that you're claiming to be censored about, and what does this have to do with the Twitter files? This is YouTube? Are you okay? Jesus.
Here. If a corrupt individual, and I'm saying this hypothetically, certifies their own election, we're supposed to just agree that it happened? No. We go to the courts if it's a challenge, and I want the courts to tell me. Okay? I don't know.
But you just said that the courts might be partisan. What? Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Chat. Hold on. Chat. It just clicked in my head. Both what's this guy's name? I forget. Who's the Georgia governor again? Kemp. Both Kemp and Hobbs were both Secretary of State who, by both laws from under each state, from both Georgia and Arizona, the Secretary of State has to certify elections. This has happened always. She didn't certify her own election for Secretary of State. She certified the election for the gubernatorial election. Yeah, no shit. She's the Secretary of State, and so is Brian Kemp. And Tim Pool's making it seem like some sketchy shit was happening. Interestingly enough, he never questioned Brian Kemp's certification. Or Brian Kemp's selection, I should say. Huh.
Look, I really do think, in all likelihood, Kari Lake's not going to win this one. And I'm not trying to be mean. I just saw Kari the other day. We chatted for a couple minutes. I said, great speech. Good luck.
Great speech. engaging in election denial, which I totally don't support, but I do. But I don't because of YouTube, Twitter files, censorship, Elon Musk. Yeah, okay, dude.
I'm a fan. I hope she.
I'm a fan, but also I'm not sure.
I hope she finds great success, and if she is right, I hope she's proven right. But I don't know. I've not seen what they've seen. I've only heard.
I don't know, but also I'm disputing the fact that like, I'm disputing the election because Katie Hobbs certified it herself. So therefore, conspiracy theory that this is whatever, dude.
The arguments. I now defer to the judge, and I hope the judge is principled and does the right thing.
But the judge, you said that you just said that they could be partisan. What?
Let me read through some of what happened in court today, so you can get an understanding of the arguments made by Kari Lake's team and the arguments made by Katie Hobbs' team. I think the corporate press has Katie Hobbs' team, their argument, fairly simply put. And then we have a Twitter thread from Tracy Beans.
Yes. True. Yes. Yes. When I want evidence, about a court case, and like I want to engage in some serious journalism, I turn to Twitter. That's usually the first place I go to. Yeah, this is true. This is true. When I want unbiased and unfiltered takes, especially calling myself a journalist or calling myself anywhere near like anything related to media, yeah, usually the first thing that I do is defer to Twitter.
Taking down basically the whole thing, which it does give Katie Hobbs her fair shake to a certain degree, and Kari Lake as well. So let's read this. Before we get started, head over to timcast.com, become a member in order to support until Thursday, but half the show as well.
Hey.
You're trying
Damn it, chill on your own time.
Elect Katie Hobbs' victory last month, saying these people are crooks. They need to be locked up. But that may be the case. So with your support, we're able to pull off things like this. So I really do appreciate it. And of course, being here in Arizona, we get to see it all firsthand. At this event last night, smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, share the show with your friends. We heard Kari Lake call for imprisoning Maricopa County election officials. Speaking to a crowd of young conservatives at Turning Point USA's America Fest, Lake discussed her election contest at length, repeating unproven allegations about both the 2020 presidential election and Governor-elect Katie Hobbs' victory.
Remember, we just saw like 5 seconds ago that he literally congratulated her and said that this was a great speech. Okay. Just reminding folks, 5 seconds ago, he literally just said that he thought she did a great speech and congratulated her. Yeah. Also, AmeriFest, like, is it like a festival to America? That's very interesting, considering like this party doesn't actually give a shit about anything regarding like America, because like isn't like the whole thing like supposed to be like immortalizing the Constitution and whatnot, and yet like follow like a you know authoritarian piece of shit who basically does not believe in the Constitution and like literally is against every like principle that they claim that America's supposed to be about, but they actually don't really give a shit about. I don't know. It's just all a little goofy. A little bit goofy.
Last month, saying these people are crooks. They need to be locked up. Lake said of Maricopa County election officials after listing off a series of largely disproven claims about election fraud. Whoa. Let's slow down there a minute, my friends. Let me go back up to
largely disproven. Yes, largely. If 80% of your claims get yeeted out, or your grievances get yeeted out in court immediately, because like we haven't even gotten to the second phase yet. If 80% of your claims get yeeted out, wouldn't it be fair to say that the overwhelming majority of your claims are kind of bullshit, which is why they were thrown out without even hearing the first arguments? Like on their face, they were such bullshit that they were just immediately yeeted out. So that would probably count as largely disproven. If like 80% of the shit that I said was thrown out in a court case, you would probably be like, yeah, you know, these things were probably largely bullshit. Yeah, this makes sense. So what? By the way, The Hill, which I too use sometimes, isn't some like bastion of like liberal media. Okay? Just so that we know what we're dealing with. The Hill isn't some bastion of like liberal media. So that attempt to make it seem like it's like some left wing or some like liberal perspective, that also isn't gonna fly if that's the angle there.
The paragraph literally a couple sentences prior that says unproven claims, but then in another paragraph, disproven claims. What's it going to be, The Hill? One or the other? How am I supposed to navigate this? I mean, honestly, I want to know the truth. Okay, if Carrie Lake lost, she lost. I got no problem with it.
Well, both things can be true at the same time. You could make shit up that has been unproven. In other words, there's no evidence to really back up your claims, while also making shit up that has been disproven. Both can be true at the same time. You were there, Tim. You literally congratulated her on this speech. You thought it was a good speech. That's kind of weird. Yeah, the bastion of neoliberal media, The Hill. Yeah.
I think ballot harvesting is the key. Now, I think Carrie Lake has some good questions.
Ballot harvesting is the key. Okay, so where was the impropriety here? Where was the issue? Okay.
I want to see them answered for. And just because you file a lawsuit doesn't mean your accusations are true.
Damn, dude. Amazing. So you mean maybe some of the shit that she said is unproven? Huh. That's interesting. I don't know how people listen to this guy.
I want to see what the judge has to say about all this. But I'm going to tell you right now, unproven and disproven are two completely different things. If they're unproven, well, then you've got a problem. But I want to say this too.
If they're unproven, then you have a problem. What problem? It means they're unproven. It means you did not prove your claim. If you make a claim, if I make the claim that there, if I just make the claim that there is a monster outside my window, that is an unproven claim. Okay? If I say there's a monster outside of my window, and then my girlfriend goes outside and shows that there isn't, that's a disproven claim. I still don't understand, because both I can make these statements and they both can be at any given point unproven or disproven. Like, I could make unproven statements and I can make disproven statements. Both of these things can be true. I could say there's a monster outside my window, and I could say that the earth is flat. One claim is unproven and one claim is disproven.
What has the establishment done to prove their elections? I mean this honestly.
What?
I err on the side of the elections are probably fine, and I don't.
But you just spent almost 9 minutes just sowing doubt on this. Okay.
I mean, let me clarify that. I think they're really broken in a lot of ways. I think that ballot harvesting is horrifyingly nightmarish.
How?
But I know that it's legal in 39 states, and I know that...
How is it broken? Where is... In all the elections that we've ever ran, where is the problem? Okay?
Even here, people are complaining about how it's legal. There's like, I think they're saying like, you can take 9 ballots plus a family member, like yours plus 9 ballots. So people are ballot harvesting. That's a problem. But I don't think there's...
How? You need to prove where the problems are when it comes to the integrity of the election, when it comes to the count and who won the election. How is this a problem? Where is the disconnect? Are the counts wrong? Because like earlier, you were saying that it was something to do with like the printing of the machine, which was then corrected. I don't know. So whatever, dude. He speaks to the all my friends are Republicans, which means everyone is Republican, which means everyone votes Democrats. Actively trying to destroy my country crowd. That's how Tim has many yeah, the dude's literally admitting that he's like, yeah, dude, I saw her speech and I was there, and I thought it was a great speech. The one where she said that that you should lock up the election officials, the county election officials, because she didn't win. That's a great speech to him. That's a totally normal, great, awesome speech that should be congratulated. As she rambles on about like how she needs to use the power of the state to lock up individuals because an election didn't go her way. Yeah, dude. Kind of tells you who he really is, right? It kind of it dispels that myth that Tim is anything but someone who supports authoritarianism and someone who's completely supporting the right, the extreme right. Great equals all my warm, fizzy feelings are brought out. True.
There's like Chinese ballots being, flooded the system. I do think that there are dirty politics afoot. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think the question is breaking the procedure. I think it's manipulating the procedure. Like that article from Time Magazine, the shadow campaign to save the, or fortify, I'm sorry, I said fortify the election. What they did on the surface, everything we know about, it's illegal. Ballot harvesting, it's illegal. They were changing the rules. You want to argue that violated legislative process? Well, then we're talking about a process violation outside the election. Yes, should be fixed. Let's read. I don't want to just keep going on about my opinions on the election. I'm going to give you the information so you can decide. AZ Family reports, a judge is taking a motion to dismiss an election-related lawsuit filed by former GOP gubernatorial candidate Kari Lake under advisement following a hearing Monday morning in Maricopa County Superior Court. Lake filed a lawsuit earlier this month against current Secretary of State and Governor-elect Katie Hobbs, the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors, Recorder Stephen Richer, and Elections Director Scott Jarrett. The 70-page suit says evidence gathered from witnesses shows, quote, hundreds of thousands of illegal ballots infected the election in Maricopa County, and that problems with equipment along with long lines disenfranchised Republican voters. The lawsuit calls for Lake to be declared winner of the 2022 gubernatorial race, or at the very least to vacate the results and hold a new election.
Yeah, so obviously none of that none of that flew. None of that flew. 8 out of 10 of her claims were yeeted out immediately.
It's an interesting request, but I'll point this out. Illegal ballots does not mean fraud. The Lake team has explicitly said...
An interesting request? That's it? Okay.
Not fraud. That's important. What they're talking about is whether or not there was proper chain of custody and whether or not signature verification was done properly. I don't know how you answer these questions. I really don't. The judge may say...
What? What are you on?
You bring up some good points, but ultimately, you can't prove any of this. And if you can't... Now, there's a bigger question.
Yeah, if you can't prove this shit, then why are we talking about it? I don't care. I really don't care. If you can't prove what the fuck you're talking about, then why are you talking about it? What's the saying? Put up or shut up.
If you can prove there's no chain of custody for ballots, what would a judge say? Well, I know there's no chain of custody for hundreds of thousands of ballots, but I'm going to approve them anyway. I mean, that's Banana Republic stuff. And if he comes out, the only thing I think they could do is actually just prove there was chain of custody and the claim was wrong. But then what? Have a new election? That would also be very, very crazy in my opinion. Now they say the Secretary of State's office responded to the initial filing of a lawsuit calling it baseless, saying Kari Lake needs attention like a fish needs water. Last week, Hobbs and the others named in the lawsuit filed a motion to dismiss, which is being taken up in Monday morning's hearing. And we have a very long Twitter thread for you from Tracy Beans. Excellent work. Tracy, she broke this down and going very quickly trying to, so some of it we'll have to parse through properly, but I want to make sure you understand what's happening. And I want to tell you why. This may be long-winded, It may be esoteric, but it's extremely important for the strength and for the health of our democracy. That's what they like to say, right? Our democracy. Well, we're a constitutional republic, and our constitutional republic.
Tim. Tim. A republic. A republic is not that much different. A republic is a republic is a type of democratic system, which is a form of like representative government.
Public needs protecting from those who want to know, who need to know, and are willing to know what's going on to defend the constitutional republic. Here we go. Tracy Beans with a live thread on what's happening in the motion to dismiss. Now, the judge, in the end, said, okay, I'm going to take this and then... The expedited nature of this suit is a problem. They say the court shouldn't entertain Kari Lake's claims. They're outside of bounds. To declare someone else a winner, the complainant must establish fraud or enough votes to change the outcome. Defense saying cavalier use of term fraud. She doesn't allege fraud in her lawsuit. Her response brief asserts a loophole. She doesn't need to prove fraud, just intentional conduct. Unless a claim falls into fraud or a significant number of votes to change outcome, it fails. So to put it simply, the Lake campaign is not saying fraud. They're saying that there was intentional conduct which resulted in problems in this election. Again, that's hard to prove. It is hard to prove intent. I hope you have some communications. If all it turns out to be is that machines broke, I don't tell you. Machines broke. I mean, it could suck. It could mean that this election doesn't reflect the will of the people, but it doesn't mean anyone did it on purpose. Unless you can prove it. Tracy Bean says Lake asking court to draw inferences that there was a coordinated effort, a bet. Signature reviewers run bet. And this was on election day because more Republicans vote that day. Pointing out that everyone on the board in Maricopa County are Republicans, saying no documents or emails. It's hard to parse through, but the general idea here is she's alleging that there was a coordinated effort. That they did all of this, all these problems happen on election day intentionally because they knew Democrats were voting early. Calling Kari Lake claims absurd, generally. Says she can't prove...
Okay, so you'd have to prove that. What actions were taken to show that Democrats did this on purpose? How would you even know that?
Fraud. And her lawsuit doesn't have evidence of fraud. Now addressing actual election results must have small margin, 10, 20, 50 votes. She needs to overcome 17,000 votes. She points to two things to overcome. The court will sift through pages to find any evidence that anyone was turned away or votes were effective. Barrett's declaration flaws are many, and his sheer speculation isn't valid. At the end of the day, speculation about what might have been have no place in an election contest. Lake doesn't come close to meeting the right standards. Quote, if there is anything rotten, it is what this represents. Candidates can't accept the fact that they lost. Judicial system has served as a bulwark to stop this. Okay, good sir. And it currently is. Why not review evidence? Why motion to dismiss? Okay, I get it. Why not motion to dismiss? Anyone defending these claims would immediately make that move because it's a move to win. Now look, the Lake campaign is going to come out, they did, and said, here's your chance to prove us wrong. But that's not a winning legal strategy, and I wouldn't expect anyone to take that. I wouldn't expect Kari Lake's team to take that. They're going to file a motion.
Here's our chance to prove us wrong? You're making the claim. What? You are the ones that are making the claim. The burden of proof is on you. What? I still can't believe Arizona's a battleground state. Yeah, it is. The burden of proof is on their legal team. Okay, I cannot say the Earth is flat, and then when you ask me, well, how did you reach that conclusion? You have to tell me how it isn't. What? That's not how this works.
To dismiss. They want to say, it's Liddy from Maricopa. A claim by the plaintiff, that's the Kari Lake campaign, that there are Republican voters that didn't get a chance to vote. That issue has already been presented to the Superior Court when RNC sued. Judge found no evidence that people couldn't vote. That was an election day ruling. Lake has been able to get affidavits.
There's no evidence that people couldn't vote. Unproven claims. Goes to show retired Dems would rather fry in the hot sun than have to deal with Floridians. So these are the unproven claims.
Has changed. All of them but 2 voted. That's fascinating. Good point. When it came to these voting machines failing, of the people they claim were impacted by it, only 2 didn't vote. So where's anybody else? I still think because of the margin of failure, you need to then review those votes, verify the votes went to the right person and all that stuff. But that should be a no-brainer. It's no issue, right? No issue? Yeah, well, apparently it is. Tracy Bean says a challenge to signature process should be brought before election, not after. Known, and she should have brought latches. If the court disagrees, the evidence brought to the court is evidence from 2020. That isn't true, she says. Okay, trying to break this one down. They're basically saying you should have sued earlier. You can't wait until after the fact and then sue. And Kari Lake tried to sue over the tabulators. And they said, there's been no election, so you can't. Now that there's something that's happened, she's suing, and they're trying to argue it's too late, you can't sue. That, to me, is patently absurd. Here's the best part. In this part, we can see that Katie Hobbs' team is making an interesting claim. Katie Hobbs, Democrats' lawyers, claim that 59% of the tabulators going down in historically red districts was not voter suppression, and that the term is reserved for the lynching and hanging of black people. They used past racial injustice as a shield for their crimes. Disgusting, says Kari Lake War Room. Well, I don't agree with that. Just yet. I want to see adjudication, but that's the argument they made. An argument I find quite silly. Look. If you want to argue the machines going down is voter suppression, it is. If you want to argue it was intentionally done, I'm going to ask you to prove it. What I mean to say is voters were suppressed by the machines going down. Here's the challenge. They say prove it, right? How many people who voted didn't have come out and said, hey, I wasn't able to vote? Only 2. Well, the problem is if someone wasn't able to vote or their vote wasn't counted or some error happened, how would they even know to come forward? That is a big problem. Doesn't mean Kari Lake can just walk through this one and be granted whatever she wants. Republican Party was founded, blah, 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 suffragettes. Oh, heavens me. Hobbs in official capacity. The plaintiff has disclaimed any claim of fraud. Did so in consolidated response. The burden on an election contestant to show outcome different is high and unsatisfied. This is about the stability of our election system. Let's go to Kari Lake and see what she has to say. Kari Lake's attorney. This case is not about ballot on demand printers not being certified, not the Fincham case. We aren't here to talk about printers. Largely, elections go off without a hitch. We normally don't have chaos, as Gates said. Now, this is interesting. This is not routine tech issues. By their own admission, they had 70 centers down. We found 2/3 of vote centers rejecting ballots. It isn't a case about flawed signature procedures. They created it out of whole cloth for latches, basically trying to say you're too late. But they're saying that's BS. That's not what we're talking about. It's also.
First of all, that's not what voter suppression means. Second of all, again, mechanisms used to prevent Dems from disputing elections, can't sue before and can't sue after, and now they're big mad that it's like they kind of shot themselves in the foot here. Nice meme.
Also not just about breaking chain of custody rules. What the case is about is Maricopa and the Secretary of State ignoring detailed procedures, like testing ballots before election to determine tabulator function, about a systemic failure of tabulators which are critical to processing votes, which occurred at 1/3 to 2/3 of centers, causing massive disruption on election day. Maricopa County employees coming forward to expose signature verifications. Thousands of examples of this which we will talk about. It's about a massive chain of custody failure, not just now, but in Bromwich. Okay, here's an interesting claim. Chain of custody. Where did the ballots go? Where did they come from? You have no record? That's a problem. I mean, in order for the system to be secure, we need to say these ballots came from this place, traveled with this person through this center, and then were counted. If you don't know that, how are we supposed to trust these ballots? That's a problem for those who... That would disenfranchise the people who voted if they did not do this properly. Tracy Bean says, it's a criminal violation to not maintain chain of custody, not some minor thing. Now, if that's true, Kari Lake's got something big. If they did not maintain chain of custody, and that's criminal, let's see what the judge has to say. What defendants ignored in our complaint. On November 8th, if procedures followed, they should have had an exact count. On 11/10, 25,000 ballots appeared. Defendants have ignored and could have changed the outcome. Also, secret censorship portal for state and local officials to flag and take down posts, and affront to the First Amendment. My opinion on that is, yeah, it's bad, but I don't know how that's going to impact a case about ballots and chain of custody. The judge may say, yeah, you're probably right, influence campaigns happen, but who knows who was involved in that? We know there were officials sending emails for sure, violating the First Amendment for sure. Being able to legally draw that connection into the election, I don't know how you do that. Being able to penalize someone or make a criminal referral or some kind of action because of suppression of speech, yeah, but that won't impact the election results. Like, it may have, but I mean, like, I don't know how a judge can rule on that. So here we go. Whistleblowers who came forward. This is interesting. First, she says, these violations move votes, and we will enter evidence how this could shift an election. I'm not interested in that. I get it. I know it's a problem, but maybe moving an election is not a definitive number. You need a number. Plaintiffs say 17 million votes are insurmountable, but it's a tenth of a point of recount. The idea this is insurmountable doesn't add up. Whistleblowers who came forward, one said they were reviewing signatures. The math doesn't add up with this experience in ballot curing. As much as they want to say the standard is different in an election as opposed to another case, not true. Talking about chaos and intentionality, introduced Clay Parikh when retained for 8 years by testing lab that certified the machines for Maricopa and others. He is a top cyber expert. He knows rules and what is required. He swore about how Maricopa violated procedure. Very, very interesting claims from Kari Lake. Again, I am not saying these are true. It's one expert. I want to see a judge issue a ruling on this, which we may see soon.
Like I said, Tim doesn't actually care about this. Even Kitty thinks listening to him is not worth attention. True. She just got up like, hey, listen, we've had enough of this asshole.
Defendants don't challenge his qualifications. It's a point in motion to dismiss. They do challenge Barris, recognized pollster. We put forward a 10-page analysis based on history and questions he asked during exit polls. What did they experience in terms of chaos? Survey data is appropriate in litigation. His findings of between 15K and 25K is something based in science, and for purposes of motion to dismiss, should accept as true and is outcome determinative. Basically, there's enough here to show the election could have been swung. I don't want to just sit here and go through all of the nitty-gritty of the entire trial. I want you to understand just a few very important points. They say this. Maricopa whispers, should we object? There were 3 who submitted signed declarations. 24 people were reviewing signatures. At level 2, there were at most 3 managers. After level 1 looked at signature, they would take rejected and review. 30 to 40% were rejected at 1. That is massive. 30 to 40%? At the other center, the same 34 to 40% rejected. At Curing Center, testimony was, quote, always told they would be in for heck because they were processing 60K a day and rejecting 12 to 15,000. He was told next day would be bad because they would come back. Next day, and only 1/10 would come back. Math tells us that 10,800 ballots approved by level 2 managers. That's 3,600 ballots per manager in a day. 2 managers have additional signatures to match and tools. If you assume they spent 1 minute reviewing each, that would be 3,600 minutes. That would be 60 hours within 24 hours. That's 25 seconds a ballot. The math does not add up. Tens of thousands of ballots pushed in that shouldn't have been counted. This is shown by examples we gave. That is compelling. We put forward 5,000 ballots, extrapolated, it's 130,000 ballots. Again, not saying it's true. It's the argument being made. I'm curious to see how the judge determines this. Now, I think in terms of chain of custody, something in the field of like 200 and some odd thousand.
What a Weasley little liar. What a Weasley little liar.
Ballots. That would be interesting. That would be interesting. But I want to come down because it's a very, very long thread, and I want to talk about important issues surrounding this. So let's see if we can get the final statement from the judges here. They say, let's see. The defense says, honest mistakes absent allegations of fraud are not enough to sustain this challenge. Counsel provided no response about legal standard for contest. Alleged fraud, speculative allegations don't meet the bar. Parikh now. Counsel suggested we didn't challenge his qualifications. We didn't have enough pages, but let's assume his conclusions are true. They're literally discounting their own level 1 employees. So the defense is basically saying, these people doing signature verification, no, they don't know what they're doing. The attorney is downplaying how many votes were being rejected by the tabulators. They're also looking for sanctions against Kari Lake for filing the lawsuit. Now, I gotta say right there, are you nuts? Yo, if this is part of the process. We need confidence. If Kari Lake is wrong, then prove it.
No, that's not how this works, my guy. Wrong. That's not how this works, dude. The burden of proof is on Kari Lake. Ow, kitty. That's not very nice. The burden of proof is on Kari Lake. If she wants to make a claim, she needs to back it up. Simple as that. You can't just go into a courtroom and be like, yeah, dude, I said X, or X did whatever. Okay, what's your proof? Proof. X has to prove that they didn't do it. What are you talking about?
Filing a sanction. Questions. Elections should be questioned. And then when it's
No. Hold on. Elections should be questioned when there's a legitimate reason as to why we need to be questioning the integrity of an election. If we followed all of Tim's suggestion, when it would be declared on the fourth Tuesday in November in most states and in January for the big states. Yeah, like, this is just asinine. I mean, whatever, dude.
proven right or wrong, whatever, we the people. Tracy Bean says, that's it. The judge ended in an interesting way, saying, all right, I will take this under advisement and render my decision as quickly as possible. I understand the time constraints. It could mean two things. He knows they will appeal if dismissed, or he isn't dismissing. I want to say, I think there's some compelling arguments. I don't think it's very strong for Kari Lake. I'm not saying it's very weak either. I'm not saying I look at this and go, whoa, slam dunk. I say, I'm seeing this and, okay, we should look at the evidence that they're presenting. I think it's a fair shake. I don't know how this will end up. But I think it's not just about the...
Jesus Christ. We just got spun in all, like, in 10 directions in the span of 5 seconds.
The arguments made by Kari Lake. I think it's also about maintaining confidence among the people. We are in trying times. Things are really...
Okay, but my guy, you're the one that's taking a fucking sledgehammer to what you supposedly are trying to defend here. You're the one. Conservatives are the ones who are taking a sledgehammer to the confidence and integrity of whatever semblance of electoral and democratic systems we have. It's you guys. If it was true, if Tim had any interest in preserving confidence and the integrity of the electoral system, he would be denouncing all of this. He would be denouncing the Republican Party. Period. Full stop.
Really bad. Okay? People are fighting. There's violence. People are threatening my life. I think we need to have a calm, reasoned approach to this. We're not getting it. We're getting procedural battles. We're getting ballot harvesting. We're getting motions for dismissal. You might get it. It's about winning. And ain't nobody going to back down. And ain't nobody going to open themselves up to a weakness for good nature or whatever. I think what we need is for Katie Hobbs to say, I want to give Kari Lake anything and everything to prove to her that she lost. That would be the appropriate outcome. No one would ever do that. Personally,
wait,
I want to see what Kari Lake has to show us in an evidentiary hearing. Procedural, or he isn't dismissing. I want to say, I think there's some compelling arguments. I want to see if the numbers about signatures match up. And then if the reality is, and I got to be honest, I'll tell you what the reality is, I think Kari Lake's probably not wrong about some of this stuff. Down. And ain't nobody going to open, or he isn't dismissing. I want to say, I think there's some compelling arguments. I don't think it's very strong for Kari Lake. I'm not saying it's very weak either. I'm not saying I look at this and go, whoa, slam dunk. I say, I'm seeing this and, okay, we should look at the evidence that they're presenting. I think it's a fair shake. I don't know how this will end up. But I think it's not just about the arguments made by Kari Lake. I think it's also about maintaining confidence among the people. We are in trying times. Things are really, really bad. Okay? People are fighting. There's violence. People are threatening my life. I think we need to have a calm, reasoned approach to this. We're not getting it. We're getting procedural battles. We're getting ballot harvesting. We're getting motions for dismissal.
Yes, that's how the legal system works. Yes. In-person voting only. Signature verify and hand count all the ballots. Declare winner at midnight on the election day only after all. Yeah, true. The right-wing fever dream.
Get it. It's about winning. And ain't nobody going to back down. And ain't nobody going to open themselves up to a weakness for good nature or whatever. I think what we need is for Katie Hobbs to say, I want to give Kari Lake anything and everything to prove to her that she lost. That would be the appropriate outcome.
No. Wait. No, wait. Hold on, chat. I gotta listen to that again. Hold on.
We're getting motions for dismissal. I get it. It's about winning. And ain't nobody going to back down. And ain't nobody going to open themselves up to a weakness for good nature or whatever. I think what we need is for Katie Hobbs to say, I want to give Carrie Lake anything and everything to prove to her that she lost.
No. 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 That's not how this works. My guy. My dude. My brother in Christ. That is not how it works at all. Not even remotely close. Not even like within, not even within the same like universe of how this works. I need to prove how you're wrong? What? This is exactly, we're going back to the same point. Yes, I would like to make the argument for as to why the Earth is flat. Okay, so what's your evidence? Well, my evidence is that you have to prove me wrong. What? Not how the law works or how being a mature adult works either. True. Yep. Like, that's not how that works. If you are the one that's bringing up the claim, you're the one that's bringing up the lawsuit, it is on you to provide the burden of proof. Why does Katie Hobbs have to do your homework? Jesus Christ.
That would be the appropriate outcome.
It most certainly would not. That's not how any of this works.
No one would ever do that.
Because that's not how this works.
Personally, I want to see what Carrie Lake has to show us in an evidentiary hearing. I want to see her team sample these ballots and test them. I want to see if the numbers about signatures match up. And then if the reality is, and I got to be honest, I'll tell you what the reality is, I think. I think Carrie Lake's probably not wrong about some of this stuff, but I think it's all just ballot harvesting. How is it that Lauren Boebert nearly lost? Ballot harvesting.
She nearly lost because she's such a garbage candidate. Maybe it could just be that she's a garbage candidate. Like maybe.
They know it. This is what bothered me so much about 2020. This inability to understand.
And here this is the pivot to try to here's the pivot to try to prime the pump for the election denial. And remember, just 5 seconds ago, he was like, yeah, the integrity of the election, so we got to make sure. Shut the fuck up, Tim. You don't give a shit about any of that. I got to be honest, it's good for I'm lying. Yep.
Biden got the votes. And people are saying, no, it was fraud. Look, when they, in a year in advance, legalize universal mail-in voting, and then in 39 states where it's overtly legal to
when they legalized universal mail-in voting. Okay, and what if there was universal voting tomorrow? What difference would that make? Whatever, dude.
Ballot harvest, they do. And then you say, how did you get the votes? Because they knocked on the door and said, you know who Biden is? No. Fill it out anyway. Whatever. Free vote. It's that simple. And there's...
That's not how that works? Okay. You got proof for that? Just making shit up.
Evidence, my friends. That's why I beg people, like, please. Carrie Lake may lose this one. You may be upset. Again, I'm a fan. I think she's fantastic. She's not perfect. I got some criticisms of her. But she's one of the best. You know, like, when we have her on the show...
Damn, dude. One of the best. Holy shit. One of the best.
Oh, she's like, ask anything. Talk about whatever you want. There's no BS politicking of these are off limits, that's off limits. She sits down, she's like, what's up? And I'm like, I like it. She is really, really good at being a politician. Now, she's not really a politician in the traditional sense, but this is why I want to see her win. And she may not. She may not win for one simple reason. Ballot harvesting is powerful, and Republicans didn't see it. One thing we can say definitively from this law.
That's not why she lost, Tim. She lost because she had less votes, Tim. That's how this works. Holy shit. But remember, he's not trying to downplay. He's not trying to sow doubt on our election systems. Yeah. The amount of doublespeak that we've heard in this entire video is just amazing. That's right, SV Harkin. That's another example right there. She's also she's really good at being a politician, but she's not really a politician. Like, the amount of doublespeak in the 30 minutes that we've been subjected to this is just wild.
Lawsuit is that Republicans know and Democrats know. Republicans vote on the day of, and Democrats vote by mail. Now,
okay, so how does that change the outcome, Tim? Is the argument that giving people an easier way to vote is bad because then more people will vote? Huh. That's a weird little admission. Because, like, then wouldn't, like, if you would need to prove how voting by mail or voting in person, how any of this makes any difference if the tally count says that one person got less votes than the other person and that's why they lost? Prior to 2020, it was mostly Republicans who voted by mail. Wow. And just like the simulacra just pointed out, what about other elections? Previous elections, were those fraudulent too when Republicans voted mostly by mail then? Should we revisit that?
Now, why is it that Democrats vote by mail? Is it because deep down in their heart of hearts, they're like, well, I just think voting by mail is the right thing to do? No, it's because it's ballot harvesting. And it's
That's not what ballot harvesting is. Voting by mail is not what ballot harvesting is. It's literally filling out your ballot and sending it in via mail. Or you personally have to drop it off. Voting by mail does not mean ballot harvesting. Because waiting in hours in long lines suck. Yeah, you can just literally mail in your ballot. Okay? Massive amount of double-digit triples. Triple speak is the reason a 30-minute video feels like a 60, 90-minute lecture. Yeah, and now we have to sit here and deal with this shit. And now we have to sit here and deal with this shit because, like, this is a massive platform. And this just goes to cement the argument that I keep making that the Republican Party just is fundamentally incompatible with democracy. I mean, this story and the way like Tim is covering it, it's just evidence of that and really goes to show the mentality. Sarah, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. He is chaos, true.
Been ballot harvesting. That's why in 2018, 2020, they're like, well, mail-in votes always favor Democrats. Yes, because they're going door to door and saying, please fill this out, please vote. With COVID, it was...
What? Door knocking? Republicans do this too? Yes, please vote. Please make sure you send in your... What? Okay. How is that ballot harvesting? How is that changing the outcome of elections? If I'm voting by mail or if I show up and vote in person, is my ballot the same or not? Like, I don't understand where the disconnect is here. Except, of course, the purpose of all of this is to sow doubt on the electoral process because fundamentally they don't believe in it. They want people to not believe in the democratic process. They want people to throw away that notion. He's a right-wing operative. Not sure who is scripting him. True. And that's really the core message. That's really the core message, and it should be ringing all the alarm bells. The core message is that democracy should just be yeeted out. Voting is pointless in terms of like getting our politics done, and we should reject every single election result that doesn't go our way. That's basically Tim's position. he's just laundering it through a whirlwind of back and forth language that's kind of hard to keep track, which is part of the point. But the core messaging is that you shouldn't just you should dispute every single election that doesn't benefit us, and which by that logic, then why do we even have elections, right? Yeah, exactly. Maybe we need to turn it into more spicy methods. Do you see how that works? Because if we can't trust the elections, if the satanic pedophile ring adrenochrome drinking party is rigging elections, we can't trust that. Then what else is there to do except get spicy? A report from the Election Integrity Partnership said Poole was a super spreader of claims surrounding voter fraud before and after the 2020 U.S. Presidential election. Yeah, 100%. Tim Poole's platform is huge. Tim Poole's platform is huge. And I think that's like the core of this of this stream. Honestly, is to continue to press that, because it is very, very disturbing, folks. It is very disturbing in this kind of political era to be listening to this kind of stuff.
Tremendously expanded. Now, you could request an absentee ballot and people would. But after COVID, they normalized it. And now, in many states, if you requested it one time, they just send it out every time. Democrats need only knock on the door and say, did you fill the vote out? And they go, no, it's right there, fill it out. And you know what? If 9 out of 10 say no, that's still one more that Republicans ain't going to get.
So maybe Republicans should step up their ground game? Okay. So you're saying that just like Dems have better ground game? Okay. I still don't see how this is evidence of an election being skewed one way or another. But whatever, dude. Keep spewing your BS.
So yes, we all know this. Just the news. Top Maricopa election offices couldn't reconcile 15,000 disparity in outstanding votes. Internal email. Quote, unable to currently reconcile Secretary of State listing with our estimates from yesterday. Maricopa County Recorder Stephen Richer wrote in a November 10th email. Okay. Maybe this was ultimately reconciled. Maybe this communication is out of date. It must be answered for.
So then why the fuck are you talking about it? Oh, this is so infuriating. Oh my god. That's right. We all know this. Yeah, it's definitely code. Yeah, it's a euphemism.
Otherwise, there's no confidence in the system, and everybody's going to lose their mind.
No, but that's only you, dude. That's only you. You're the only one doing this shit. Oh my god, this is infuriating.
So, as I stated in 2020, we need this. We need a judge to hammer it out, to lay it down, and go through everything. We need a judge. We need the judge.
And to make sure that the Republican wins. Yes, we know,
right
Tim.
Now, to say we're going to go to evidence. For the sake of confidence in this country, in our state, of our people, we will hear what Kari Lake has to say. You know what? Maybe he calls her bluff. Or maybe there's actually something there. Either way, I think the strongest position, and I said this to Kari Lake, I don't like the fraud narrative at all. For 2 reasons.
But then, what? Holy shit. Oh, chat. Oh my god. We're being gaslit. We're being constantly gaslit. In the past 30 minutes, we've literally been thrown in for a loop. Like, constantly. We're being gaslit. Again, chat. Didn't he just say that he thought, that he congratulated her speech and that he thought she did such a good speech and that she's great? Didn't he literally just congratulate her on her speech? And now he's saying that he doesn't think that she should go with the fraud narrative? But also that he agrees that her speech was good? Holy shit. I'm actually going to lose my shit. Is ADT's blood pressure over or under 110? Alright. Let's do it. Go ahead, chat. Democracy. As Lindell said, Carrie Lake won. Yep. One of the best. Fantastic. Exactly. I can't tell you my blood pressure. But I can tell you my, my, heart rate. Or maybe I can tell my blood. Can I tell my... No, I can't. Yeah, I would need a cuff. The most I can do is like my beats per minute. My heart rate. Change to heart rate more or less than 200. all right. We're doing heart rates. We're doing heart rates. All right, listen, folks. We got to get through this because there's a couple of articles that I still have. How's your O2? I have no idea. How do I even check that?
I think it's less likely. I think ballot harvesting is it. And the second, it's off-putting and confusing. Now, maybe it's right. I don't know.
I don't give a shit if it's off-putting or confusing or whatever. What is the truth, Tim?
I lean towards it's not. But you go to a regular person and say, the only reason I lost is because they cheated, and people are going to be like, oh, get out of here, man. Can't you just accept you lost? But if you go to the average person and say, did you hear about how the machines were backed up and people were having trouble voting?
And was that was that problem resolved? Why? Yes, it was.
Look,
damn.
I got a problem with that, and I think we should have an evidentiary hearing on what happened.
Well, damn, Tim. Yeah, there was an issue that was immediately resolved. Hambliss, how's it going? Acute animal break? Yeah. I think you would need proper medical equipment for that. True. I don't know if I have an animal video, but I will bring the cat on stream again as a bonus. Cute animal.
People are going to be like, well,
so over. Right now, believe it or not, chat. Believe it or not, Tim prepping for the GOP taking the House and investigating. True. And he's just going to keep asking questions, you know? Oh, isn't it interesting? Yeah, okay, Tim, shut the fuck up. Currently, my heart rate is at 70 beats per minute. 71, 70, 69. Nice. So, yeah, it's actually not that high, believe it or not. I'm very chill, okay? Just because I'm yelling at Tim Pool, I can manage to keep my cool.
That's a good point. A fair person. We may never win over cult members. They're going to be like, no, dismiss. You get away. I want to win. But there are many people who are...
Cult members? What? What are you talking about? Cult members? Like people who are just like, yeah, dude, the elections results say that X person won. And until you show me evidence to the contrary, why do I need to believe anything else? It's on you. You're the ones that are making the claim. For the umpteenth time, you are the ones that are making the flat earth claim. Okay? You're an athlete. Well, ex-athlete. Although, I have been trying to get into hiking. Very cool stuff.
Maybe it's just in the middle a little bit. That little bit you need to win over. Who are going to say, okay, fine. I agree. I think you lost, but prove it. Let's I want to call your...
No. Wait, hold on. I think you lost. But prove it? Prove what?
Bluff. That's the opportunity right there. I see a lot of people who want to go out and just yell fraud.
The bluff is a bluff. Hold on. A bluff implies that this was fake to begin with. The claim was fake to begin with. Endless casting doubt as if elections are unverifiable. Exactly. And then making you, and then putting the onus on you as to why they're wrong. Why are you watching Tim Pool? Because unfortunately, there have been recent articles about the Arizona situation, and this kind of needs to be juxtaposed with the way like the right wing has been continuing to frame this, and the way people like Tim Pool like to try to weasel their way into centrism while pushing election denialism, while claiming simultaneously that they care about any type of like democratic systems, and have the audacity to claim that they're the ones that care about integrity while taking a fucking sledgehammer to it. Like, this kind of shit, honestly, was worth the entirety of the stream, because it just kind of continues to prove my point that, like, at the end of the day, Republicans fundamentally are incompatible with democracy. No further questions, Your Honor. Try not to take Tim Pool seriously. No, I do take him seriously. That's the thing. That's the thing. I do take him seriously. I take people like him very seriously. What's the matter? Come here. Come here. Makita. Come on. You're meowing up a storm. Come on. Yes, come on. You can do it. Yeah, delay, deny, and distract. Projection and co-opting victimhood go together absolutely. 100%. Come on, Makita, you can do it. Here we go. Oh, that's what infuriates me, Hambless, and that's why we're here. That's the only reason why we're here.
And I'm like, guys, I talk to a lot of regular people, and if you say they cheated, they laugh, they go, oh, this is ridiculous. But if you say something like, well, there's questions about chain of custody, I mean, you think that's wrong, right? Like, if we don't know where the ballots came from, you'll hear from a lot of people, I do, they say things like, yeah, but that doesn't mean they're fraudulent. I'm like, you're right. Maybe if it's a crime, though, we should investigate. Well, yeah. I'm like, you wouldn't want someone else doing that. I mean, if they come out right now and it was legit.
But Tim, my brother in Christ, you have to prove that these things happened.
And there was a chain of custody issue. What if Trump? What if Trump then does it? That's right.
No, it's not that just like, yeah, I get what you're saying. It's not that like Tim occupies like a lot of my space. It's the mentality. It's the mentality that really is triggering me. Does that make sense? Like the mentality that is a common sentiment. It isn't just Tim Pool, right? It's a common sentiment that is permeated through the entirety of conservatism. And he is just a yeah, exactly. He's an example, a conduit, a vehicle, and also a massive platform.
I don't mean it like literally like that, but I've talked to people and I've said outright, like, look, man, I don't know what happened, but let's just prove them wrong. Unsurprisingly, many leftists don't want to even try. You wonder why?
What? Holy shit. Oh, my literal beats per minute just spiked to 82 when he said that. My heart rate spiked to 82 when he said that. Holy shit. What a fucking dishonest fuck. So lefties aren't even trying to there's nothing here for us to do, Tim. There's nothing here, okay? There's nothing here for us to do. If you make a claim, then prove it. Then prove it. You want us to do your homework? Is that what it is? No, fuck off.
You wonder why? I'm neutral. My attitude is...
I'm neutral. Listen, I'm neutral. I just spent the entire 30 minutes swinging back and forth, but I'm neutral. It just happens to be that on the final swing, I end up supporting the right-wing candidate. And on several occasions, I've actually congratulated her.
The hearing, prove it. Let's not just keep shoving everything under the rug. When someone comes out and says, I object, I say, okay, why? So we'll see.
Why aren't you trying to prove I'm not Jesus? True. Why aren't you trying to prove that there isn't a God?
There's a lot of stories right now. And I kept looking at this one. There's the FBI, there's Twitter files that are dropping right now, and I'm like...
Don't give a
This
shit.
Carrie Lake thing is very important. If her claims turn out to be true, it's an opportunity to actually adjudicate this stuff, to pull up the evidence, and figure out what's going on, and maybe repair some confidence. Maybe most people don't care about it as much as I do, but I do. So I'll leave it there.
Yeah, shut the fuck up, Tim. You don't give a shit.
Next segment's coming up.
Yeah, shut up. All right, so there you have it. We went over the Carrie Lake story and how that is being juxtaposed with Tim's coverage versus like what actual reality looks like, and just to kind of tie it all neatly together with a little bow tie. This is the problem here, that the right wing fundamentally here is getting increasingly more dangerous. Stop it. They increasingly are willing to take a sledgehammer to whatever semblance of any type of democratic norms or systems, institutions put in place. They don't care because fundamentally they don't like them. The reason why they don't like these democratic systems is because, well, they can't enact their shitty, unpopular agenda because people don't want it. The only way that they succeed, the only way they will succeed is by doing things like this. And that's what's incredibly disturbing. Yeah, clearly they must know that I'm Jesus, or they'd be trying harder. True. So we got an update on the whole like Elon Musk story. Apparently, it wasn't just some crazy stalker. It was one of his own security team. So he lied. Anyways, we'll find out exactly as the investigation is ongoing. Apparently, it was a delivery driver from Uber Eats, but the police are saying that this is involving a member of his own security team. I am not sure. We've got like 3 different stories going on. I'm sure that as this comes out, we'll find out more. All right. I was gonna do this here, but this isn't as much of an importance in my opinion. EPA has finalized tougher pollution standards for heavy-duty vehicles starting with model year 2027. So 5 years. The EPA's new rules is the first update to the standards since 2001. It will cut down on the smog and soot from heavy-duty trucks by requiring them to reduce emissions of nitrogen oxide by nearly 50% by 2045, and will be more than 80% stronger than the current standard. The EPA administrator said, Michael Reagan said in a statement that the new rule would protect public health, especially the 72 million people living near truck freight routes in America, including our most vulnerable populations and historically overburdened communities. So the EPA is geared to apparently attempt to limit this. The agency estimated this rule will result in 2,900 fewer premature deaths, 18,000 fewer cases of childhood asthma, and 6,700 fewer hospital admissions. This also will lead to 78,000 fewer lost days at work, 1.1 million fewer lost school days for kids, and an overall net benefit of $29 billion. I live in a trucking neighborhood. The truck repair across the street and the dump at the end of the street. Sheesh. transportation is the largest source of planet warming emissions in the U.S., with average household vehicles making up 50% of the total sector's emission. Heavy-duty vehicles like big trucks and buses make up about 23% fewer of them are on the roads because of their size and fuel requirements, but they contribute an outsized proportion of air pollution and planet warming emissions. TLDR, the EPA is set to start new rules in 2027. I mean, we'll see how much of that will actually impact when it comes to like the actual climate crisis. Nonetheless, I mean, the benefits would be better air quality, which is just like a net positive overall for the reasons mentioned earlier. If you have less air pollution, you're obviously going to have positive externalities that extend past just emissions. For a long time, there was a grandfather clause for diesel, just black suit in the air. Sheesh. So, lowercase w. I still think that's a step in a direction, and it seems to be in the positive side of the direction. All right, folks, it is past 7:30. I do have to get going. Instead of a cute animal video, we'll have Vaquita here to sign us off. Right, Kitty? Folks, if you guys enjoy the content and want to help this channel out, make sure you hit the follow button on your way out. And if you guys can, head on over to the YouTube channel and hit the big red subscribe button. It really does help us out. You get 5 free emotes, including 2 of Vaquita the cat, one of which was made by our very own Cheeseburger Freedom Eagle. Well, actually, both emotes were made by folks from the chat. I mean, how could you say no? Look, Robo Gaming. See? He got the free emotes. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Look. They are staring at you? Yes. She's like, listen, bro. Are you going to sign off or what? Oh, come. You want to say goodbye? There you go. See, she tried to take the mic from me. All right, folks, I really do have to get going. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for the phenomenal amount of subscriptions. Noog Wrangler with 5 tier 1 gifted subs. Justine with a gifted sub. Maple Leaf Dragon with a tier 1 sub for 11 months, almost a year. Jesus Christ. Alio with the 10 biddies. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the new follows. You guys just killed it today. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Your support is what makes this channel grow. Don't forget, hit the big red subscribe button. We'll see you tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you guys so much. As always, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I love you all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. See ya. Thanks for the stream. Thank you, Robo Gaming. I appreciate that. Thank you. All right, folks. Thank you, Michael Hassler. Spread it forward for hanging it out in the chat, for mixing it up in the chat. We're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See ya.